Hey guys, this is RolloutReviews with RolloutReviews, bringing you another Big Hero 6 toy review. This time it is Wasabi-No-Ginger. Now this is the Disney Store exclusive version of this figure, basically meaning it has a more premium paint job and a different packaging than you'll find at standard retail release. The packaging, however, is exactly the same on all of these releases. If you want to see what that looks like, either go check out my Hero Hamada review or do a Google search. Anyway, let's see how this figure holds up. Out of the group, I think Wasabi has the strangest proportions, and it's all thanks to the way his legs are molded. I feel like the upper section is probably fine, but the boot should just be a little bit longer. Maybe his torso is just a little bit too thick as well. I don't know. There's something off here. But he doesn't look too bad. Maybe a little strange with the lineup. He might have benefited from being just a bit taller, but overall, I don't think he's a bad figure, especially in the sculpt. His head sculpt is fantastic. Like the face, that looks pretty spot on. His hair is really nicely molded as well. He is missing the visor, and if you look at him compared to like product images, you'll notice there's clearly something missing there. There's clearly something wrong. He's supposed to have like a bright orange visor just over his eyes. However, I don't think the mold suffers from that not being there. If you didn't know it was supposed to be there, it doesn't look like there's something missing. It looks pretty good regardless. He does have this coat, and in some of the trailers we saw him without this coat. I'm sure it is removable. You could probably pop one of his arms off here if you tugged hard enough. Maybe you won't break it. I'm certainly not going to try it. And this is made out of a malleable enough material that you could probably wiggle it around. It is pegged into the back here, and there's no detail back there. But if you want him without the coat, I'm sure it is possible. The coat is molded kind of swayed to one side, which is nice, but maybe a little bit restricting. Like if you want him dashing in the opposite direction, it could look a little bit strange. Although the posability isn't too great, so there's not a whole lot of chances that that will look wrong, I don't think. Posability, I mean, his head rotates, his arms go in and out and forward and back, pretty standard fare. He's got 90-degree elbows. He really could have benefited from a rotation either up here or in his cuff, especially when you attach his blades, because there's not a whole lot you can do with those. Once again, no waist articulation, and him especially, I feel there's more than enough room to have made one there. There's even like a split in the mold where they could have added one, but alas, he does not have one still. The legs, they go forward and back, and he's got kind of a strange knee joint. It's set really far up there, and makes his legs look even shorter. It's not bad. Like, he can still get plenty of poses, but it's a little bit limiting. He does have these blades here, and there's little holes in his arms to support those. There's actually little notches here, so you know which one goes into which arm. They are very, very loose. After this review, I'm probably going to coat the pegs there with some floor polish so that they stick in a bit tighter, because they are rather loose to the point where they'll just fall off. Now, if you don't want to, use nail polish or floor polish or even glue them in, you can take the opposite blade and like plug it into the wrong arm, and there actually is enough room there so that it will fit and a lot tighter. The only problem being it looks a bit strange, looks a bit off. So I don't really recommend that, but it's something you can do. Overall, this figure isn't bad. He looks a little bit strange, and there's some things that I don't really like about it. There's some strange decisions going on here, which just seems to be a theme with a lot of these figures. There's just some strange design decisions. Like, I think this blue on his legs, I think that's all paint. I think all of this was molded in black just by looking at it. I'm not going to scrape it off or anything, but that's just the way it looks. And if that's true, that's just a weird decision. But despite the blades here, he's a solid figure. And once again, I think he's more than adequate for anybody who just wants a Wasabi-No-Ginger toy. Depending on the popularity of the movie, we might get a better figure later along the line, but until then, like I said, I think this guy's more than adequate. So that is about it, guys, and this is IX Roll It IX, signing off.